Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. You see things and you say, why? But I dream things that never were, and I say, why not? The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. The worst sin towards our fellow creatures is not to hate them, but to be indifferent to them. That's the essence of inhumanity. A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul. The power of accurate observation is commonly called cynicism by those who have not got it. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. The moment we want to believe something, we suddenly see all the arguments for it and become blind to the arguments against it. Do not do unto others as you would that they should do unto you. Their taste may not be the same. The secret to success is to offend the greatest number of people. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire, you will what you imagine, and at last you create what you will. The man who writes about himself and his own time is the only man who writes about all people and about all time. Life is a quarry out of which we are to mold and chisel and complete a character. All great truths begin as blasphemies. The possibilities are numerous once we decide to act and not react. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, make them. A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. The only man who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew every time he sees me, while all the rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them. A gentleman is one who puts more into the world than he takes out. Youth is wasted on the young. Success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. The greatest of evils and the worst of crimes is poverty. The only way to avoid being miserable is not to have enough leisure to wonder whether you are happy or not. There is no sincere love than the love of food. The only thing that will redeem mankind is cooperation. The people who get on in this world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them. You cannot be a hero without being a coward. The only way to deal with fear is to face it head on. I am not a shop, I am a playwright, and that is quite sufficient. If you cannot get rid of the family skeleton, you may as well make it dance. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. I learned long ago never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. Life is a disease, and the only difference between one another is the stage of the disease at which he lives. Life is a constant process of dying. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. A happy family is but an earlier heaven. Silence is the most perfect expression of scorn. The greatest gift that you can give to others is the gift of unconditional love and acceptance. The only true happiness comes from squandering ourselves for a purpose. It is a curious sensation, the sort of pain that goes mercifully beyond our powers of feeling. When your heart is broken, your boats are burned, nothing matters anymore. It is the end of happiness and the beginning of peace. The only way to deal with temptation is to yield to it. Life is a challenge. Meet it. The best way to cheer yourself is to try to cheer somebody else up. Better keep yourself clean and bright. You are the window through which you must see the world. A man of my spiritual intensity does not eat corpses.